I'm seeing women put up with a lot from men. And to be honest, it's giving secondhand embarrassment. Whether you are choosing to put up with some foolishness because society says so, because you're getting older, because you're lonely, because you want somebody to sleep with, regardless of what your reasoning is, if a man does these 7 things that we're about to get into right now, baby, it's time to cut him off. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Kiaundra. I am your host, licensed marriage and family therapist, Kiaundra Jackson. Now, before we get into it, I need for you guys to put in the comments, what are some things that you have put up with from men when you know you shouldn't have? Ladies, put it in the comment section because you know we got to chat about this stuff. So the first thing that if a man does this, you need to cut him off is if he disrespects your boundaries. And I'm talking about in any given way. If you have been on my channel before, you know that boundaries are just the invisible lines that we set for ourselves and other people. It teaches other people how to treat us. So if this man is constantly pushing your limits, pushing your boundaries, pushing things to the very edge, this is not healthy, and this is something that you need to reconsider, because ultimately it is a clear sign that he does not respect you. And I'm talking about pushing the boundaries physically, emotionally, around your time, around your money, around sex and intimacy. These are all things that if he is pushing your boundaries after you have said no, or not right now, or I don't want to do that, and he is consistently pushing you, immediate no. The second thing that a man may do, and if he does, you need to cut him off, is if he lies and manipulates you. Trust, period, is the foundation of any relationship. So if I can't trust you to be honest, to have integrity, because y'all know that's my favorite words. My 2 words is what? Excellence and integrity. Y'all already know. If you are not operating from those 2 spaces, you do not deserve to be in my world. So if someone is consistently lying and manipulating you into doing things that you don't want to do, or lying about the smallest little teeny tiny things, baby, it's not even worth your time. I actually did a video that I'll link up here or put inside of the description below about the different types of lies and liars that y'all probably will want to check out too. Because with this one, he is prioritizing control over the connection that you're supposed to be having with him. And this doesn't just go for lying because y'all think like lies are just the big ones. I'm talking about lies by omission, when you absolutely withhold information. That's a form of lying. Twisting the truth, form of lying. Playing these weird mind games and trying to gaslight you, which we'll talk about later, is a form of lying. And that's not okay. Consistent toxic behavior is a no in any relationship, and it is a red flag that you need to cut him off. Because before we move on to the third one, you deserve truth, you deserve commitment, and you deserve honesty. That's like the basic. That's like the foundation. That's like the bare minimum. The third thing that a man does, if he does this one, you might need to cut him off, is if he does not support your growth. A good partner, a real good partner, is always going to support your dreams and aspirations for success. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's you going back to school for a semester and getting your associate's degree, whether it's you starting a business, whether it's you writing a book, whether it's you taking care of the house, whatever your next step of growth is in your life and on your journey, he should be supportive of that. If he dismisses your goals, if he belittles you, if he talks smacks about you and say, well, why are you doing that? For what? You're never going to be anything. That is a cold red sign. Where's the red flag? I'm going to insert a red flag here. That is a red flag to you to be like, no, bye-bye. Because before we move on to the next one, here's a plot twist here that we don't talk about enough, is that sometimes men can be jealous of your growth, jealous of your success, jealous of you having ambition and wanting to do more and be more in your life, when they feel like they should be doing the same thing, but they're not. So in order for them to feel happy about themselves and okay with where they're at, they have to bring you down, which is not okay. The fourth thing that if a man does this, you probably need to cut him off, is if he has controlling behavior. Listen to me. If he tries to dictate what you wear, where you go, who you can see, what friendships you can have, when you can visit your family, when you can go to school, when you can start that business, when you can read that book, when you can go to sleep, when you can eat, when you can fill in the blank, that is a very controlling person, and that is probably borderline abuse. Because what is happening is domination and control. And what's supposed to be happening is autonomy, having the freedom to do what the heck you want to do in your relationship, and just yourself as a person doing the things that you want to do, and then allowing the other person to come into your world to see if that's something that they can rock with. So if he comes into your world trying to control, you can't do this, you can't go here, and all of those things, when you're so used to having freedom and autonomy and the ability to go as you please and do as you please, and now you feel restricted and you feel reserved and you feel like you're not being able to be yourself, that is a huge red flag, and that is not a healthy part of a relationship, and you need to let him go. The fifth thing that if a man does this, you need to cut him off is if he neglects communication. Now, we've talked about communication, effective two-way communication, a lot on this channel. And I told you guys multiple times that communication is so important in relationships. It's actually one of the reasons, besides money, why marriages fail. So if this is one of the reasons why relationships are not lasting and things are going haywire, this is the area that we have to be on top of, that we have to understand that communication is not just about talking, it's about understanding, it's about active listening, it's about a whole bunch of elements. And so if he neglects wanting to communicate with you, that is a massive problem. I'm not saying he has to be perfect, because we know that no one is perfect, actually, men or women, but also too, men have a hard time expressing their thoughts and feelings at times. And so even if he's trying, even if he's doing a little bit, if there's effort and you're like, okay, I can see he's trying to text or call, express himself, is not perfect, but there's attempts being made, we can rock with that. But if you are experiencing the opposite, where he shuts down, he don't want to talk, he don't want to express himself, you got to play these guessing games with him, sir, don't nobody got time for that. We are grown adults. But let me give y'all specific examples just in case y'all are like, well, still, what does that mean if he's dodging conversations, if he's ghosting you for days, if he's shutting down when you need to talk and stonewalling you, which means he ain't giving you no eye contact, you talking over here and he looking over here like, body language shut down, all of that. And what that tells me is that he isn't open or ready to have a mature relationship, because a relationship that is healthy, that is thriving, is going to have effective communication at all times. The sixth thing that if a man does this, you probably need to cut him off is if he disregards your feelings. Ladies, y'all know we love to share our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We're way more emotional beings than men are. They are more physical beings, right? And so if you are trying to express your wants, needs, goals, desires, passions with him, and he is just not trying to hear it, oh no, that's a problem. He should not be dismissing how you feel. He should not be mocking you. He should not be brushing off your concern. Because what that is a sign that he does not have empathy. Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes to feel how they would feel and to experience what they would experience. He can't do that because he is over here dismissing and disregarding your feelings. And when someone does that, that creates this level of separation, this wall, this gate, this fence in between us. Because now the next time when I come around and try to share my feelings or emotions with you, I'm probably not, because you have shut me down before. And we know that feeling heard and feeling valued and respected in a relationship is key. And last but not least, before I give my final thoughts, the seventh thing that you probably need to cut him off if he does this is if he gaslights you. Now, I know that this is a term that we have overused and misused. Let me tell y'all, as a licensed therapist, y'all be overusing a whole bunch of words and misusing stuff, triggers and narcissists and ADHD. I'm like, y'all don't even fully understand what these terms mean clinically. But anyways, I digress. If he gaslights you, this is probably an indicator that you need to cut him off. For the people who don't know what gaslighting is, it basically means if the other person is saying or doing things that makes you question your own reality. Statements like, you're too sensitive, or that never happened, are rude, ridiculous attempts to invalidate how you feel and what your experience was too. And if you're not aware, gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse. And once again, it's a huge red flag, because gaslighting should not exist in any type of relationship. So let me give my final thoughts on this. I know that I said in this video that if a man does these 7 things that you should automatically cut him off, but you guys know that I am not a big fan of immediately cutting people off. Now, I like to operate from a healthy stance, right? So if you are experiencing any of these things, I don't want you to be like, Kiaundra said, if he did this, cut him off immediately. Hold on. The right, healthy thing to do is to have a conversation about these things. If you are noticing one of the 7, multiple, or all 7, you need to have a conversation and a dialogue with this person. That's why one of the things was communicating, right? And so if you do, and they change and they're open and they're receptive to your feelings and they're listening and they're saying, okay, well, I didn't know that I was doing that, I can do better, then cool, you got a little bit of wiggle room to work with, right? Like you can see that this person wants to be with you, they want to improve, they want to do better. And if they're willing to do this now, they'll be willing to be with you and have some type of growth later. But if you mention these 7 things to him and he gets mad and defensive and he don't want to talk to you and it's a wrap and all of those things, then this is a clear indicator that what I already mentioned in this video you need to consider. So I don't want you to just immediately cut off, because that's not always the healthiest thing too. But what I mentioned in the beginning of this video is I'm seeing people stay too long. You guys acknowledge and see these things in your relationships for months, for years, and you don't do anything about it. And then you wonder why your relationship is toxic and unhealthy. So sometimes you need to acknowledge, you need to peep game, you need to have a try to make an attempt and have a conversation about those things. And if changes don't happen after that, don't waste your time. Peace out, so you can make time and space and opportunity for you to be with the person that you're supposed to be with, that's going to be healthy, that's going to respect you, and that's going to love you authentically for you. And also, you can let that person go so they can be with whoever they're supposed to be with you. So thank you so much for watching another episode of Keeping It Real with Kiaundra. I hope you can share this with somebody else who needs it, and I will see you next time. Be blessed. Bye.